music that we had playing during that little intro screen and the Terran music right here matched up perfectly in beats. Literally every beat was hitting exactly. That is fantastic.
I want to give our shout out to Josh, our live producer, for being an awesome DJ. Thank you very much, Josh.
Hope you guys have been enjoying the switch up in music as well. Here in the top right-hand corner of the map Daybreak, we have our blue Zerg player from Acer. He's winner of the last 2 games in a row, matching Choya's feat before. It is Nerchio, his opponent in the lower left-hand corner. The next representative from FXO. No, it's still not Choya. No, he didn't just switch races and is playing again. He likes to put himself in once, but not 5 times in a row. It is the best.
All right, so in honor of Bit by Bit coming back to StarCraft, I want to see a 2-base all-in, or a 1-base all-in.
Oh,
I know we won't see it, but I want to see it.
Oh, no.
Does anyone else think it's awesome that Bit by Bit is coming back to StarCraft?
I do.
I actually want to see if he's capable of doing another build other than just 1-base SCV pull. Because literally that is all he did in every single GSL match, and I just want to see it. If Marine King is saying thank you, I want to see Bit by Bit back. That's all I'm saying.
Bit by Bit. No, he's. I actually expect that he's done a total 180, and now he builds no fewer than 12 command centers per match.
It's like back in the beta when I was playing with Torch. He's like, why did Terrans make supply divas? They just make more command centers. It's just better. Tasia kind of takes that approach, you know, with those super fast thirds.
Super fast thirds, more like super fast sevenths.
Yeah.
So. Or at least having enough command centers to fill that. So,
all right. So we do have a hatch first from Nerchio.
Yeah.
Against obviously what looks to be so far, dare I say it, a 1-Rax expand from the best with no gas coming up so far.
No, dude, Banshees. It's I'm calling. No, I'm joking. More than likely, though, obviously he'll be following current trends. We'll start to see a 1-Rax gasless fast expand, and then into some sort of Hellions and up to Banshees afterwards with a 3rd base. Whether he puts that down before his double gas, whether he puts that down before Banshees or afterwards, or whether he even switches it up. Usually, it's going to be some sort of Banshees into 3 base.
Yep, so there it is. We have a very fast expand by FXO.TheBest. Take that, haters.
And he is double gassing right afterwards, so Banshees are coming soon.
Yeah. So obviously this is going to be a Hellion reactor follow-up or possibly Banshees, yes. Nerchio, very standard. No gas yet. Going to get a few lings to scout out. We'll see how early he decides to take his 3rd base, or if he decides to go for that 4-queen opening that a lot of Zergs have been doing for the past few months now.
Looks like a 4-queen build for now. A lot of Zerg players have been doing a hybrid between the 4 and 6-queen build. They've been taking a 3rd base as the as queens number 3 and 4 coming up, and then getting gas and a 5th queen at the same time. So it's a possibility.
Yeah, and he's going to scout the quick base very, very shortly if he gets his lanes across the map, and then he'll see that it's not kind of an all-in. But I'd expect 4 queens at Nerchio simply because the best is known for the Banshee play in general.
And there's the factory drop. Oh, we have a tech lab coming down right away.
Yep.
Oh, never mind. I'm sorry. I apologize once again. I'm sick, so every bad thing I do, I'm just going to go back to the fact that I'm sick right now. I have this big box of Kleenexes next to me, so I apologize if I sound really stuffed up on stream. All he's going to do is he's going to drop the starport on top of this tech lab and bypass the reactor Hellions right at the very beginning is what's most likely.
We're probably going to see the factory actually build the reactor so that the Hellions will be late and he'll be building the starport on top of the tech lab. I'd imagine that's what's going to happen. Yep, there it is.
So, yeah, sorry about that. That was nothing out of the ordinary. Nerchio double gassing afterwards, though, and he does have, let's see here, 4 queens indeed on the field at the moment, but we'll see what he saves up gas for if he's going to go for a relatively quick layer. 3rd base should be popping out of him in the relative near future, though.
Yeah, I like the fact that he's going for a quick layer here, and I love the build he's doing overall. Ooh, I like the spine crawler, too. Very, not often enough do I feel Zergs get that spine crawl. It really helps defend both the 9-minute push and the Hellion harass that Terran players do early game in TVZ.
Well, Hellion does take control of the map, zaps the Zergling in the middle there. It's so funny because it never looks like the Zerglings are being lit on fire, just the way the StarCraft graphics are done, because there's so many units you can't make them all have really intense fire graphics. It looks like they're being zapped by a 50s ray gun or something like that. So.
Or like Star Trek ray gun or something.
Yeah, exactly.
And we do have cloaked Banshees from the best.
Yeah.
So we'll see what kind of damage he's going to do with that. Nerchio almost in response, obviously can't see it, but Evolution Chamber. It's just a standard timing, but it's also very, very safe. Double Evo Chamber coming up. And 2 Spore Crawlers, so he's going to be relatively safe against the Cloak Banshees from TheBest.
I don't know, man. Number 1 Banshee control Korea.
Number 1.
Number 1 Banshee controller.
That's
my Strato impression of him doing.
Well done.
There's a guy we play League of Legends quite a bit with, and that's his way of doing an impression of the Korean caster. Yeah. Number 1 single player, Acer.Nerchio.
Yeah.
Banshee's going to make its way out though, and Cloak is very nearly done, but those Spore Crawlers are already in place.
Yeah, this is not going to do a whole lot of damage at this point. Ooh, wow. We have TheBest going Armory immediately afterwards. So is it possible? I don't think this is for upgrades. Or maybe it is for upgrades.
He has 1 Engineering Bay, 1 Armory, so he'll make the decision here in a second, but it could very well be mech.
It could be mech. Well, obviously what he sees is going to determine that, because he doesn't have... Oh, and there's Tank. Banshee going to do 1 kill so far. Doing some pretty good damage to this Queen.
Yeah.
But not really getting a whole lot done there.
No, so does a little bit of damage. It has to get out, but obviously a 3rd base coming up for TheBest.
Very good macro by TheBest in this game so far.
Yeah, and continuing to produce these Banshees as well. He's got Banshee number 2 starting to swing in towards the Queens. He will be able to snag 1 kill.
Yeah, very good, and he hasn't lost a Banshee yet, so pretty good Banshee control.
Yeah.
Got
another one there in the middle, too.
Wow, so yeah, pretty good there. A few kills on those Banshees. Got 2 on 1, 1 on another. And he didn't lose any, which is the most important part. And we are going to see mech with the 2nd factory and mech upgrades coming. So he decided that's what he's going to do. And he looks like he's going to get up to 3 base relatively easily because Nerchio doesn't have a lot coming so far. Nerchio is getting his 3rd base as well right now, as well as a macro hatch in his main base. And it looks like Nerchio is just going to get his infestors out in a little bit. But he's going to have quite a few tanks and +1 mech upgrades by the time that Nerchio decides to do his push. So TheBest is in pretty good shape right now.
I like that he's still making a few unupgraded Marines as well. It's not that big of an investment. It's a little bit additional DPS, and you know, one of the problems with mech as well is that you can be susceptible because you don't have such a mobile force to to units running around to your other bases, your 3rd and such. You can load up a bunker with some of those unupgraded Marines, and it keeps you really, really safe.
Also, it helps stop this when the Overlord is just dripping creep on your 3rd base, and you need something to be able to shoot up, which Mech can't do other than Thor's. So it's too often that a lot of times when players go mech, they do the goody approach where you only build your first 4 Marines, put them in a bunker, and just leave them there for the rest of the game and forget about them. He actually is continuing his Marine production into the mid game, which, like you said, I really like that.
Oh, goody. Let's see here, though, as Nerchio, once again, going up to very quick Hive, very quick Spire. He's done kind of a creative thing, though. I mean, he decided to commit really hard to 2-base tech before going up to that 3rd. This was just started. You see how high these resources are. I mean, this has only had 30 minerals taken from it. So, I mean, getting close to almost like the Linux-style approach in terms of teching off of 2 bases. Of course, not going for mutas, though.
Yeah, 2-base Hive really is what that was. That's very, very quick. Already done with Hive, and he's going to start Greater Spire right now. So 12 minutes starting Greater Spire is fairly quick, and yeah, he's getting that 15-minute Broodlords again. From the looks of it, very, very fast. He's up to his 3 base. He's taking a 4th as well, and he's relatively safe from everything that TheBest could do right now. Oh,
and he sees Hive. I mean, he sees everything at the moment.
So yeah, he knows exactly what's going on, and I expect Vikings to come out very, very quickly after he just saw Hive.
And, of course, when you go mech, you have to stay prepared against anything in the air. So you have to make a ring of missile turrets. Now, normally, you don't see 8 missile turrets that close to each other.
That's pretty cool.
You usually see them all kind of ringed out around the side. But, hey, whatever floats your boat.
I feel like I'm watching Big Game Hunters where people like just put missile turrets everywhere around their little island segued from everything.
Oh, Big Game Hunters. LOL. UMS games.
Yeah.
The most fun I've probably ever had playing games, though, in my life are Brood War era UMS games, just honestly.
Yeah, very, very fun. All right, so it looks like TheBest is going to move out here with a little small striking force, and Nerchio really doesn't have that many units right now. This could do a little bit of damage, but it'll depend a lot on TheBest control.
Okay, well, Nerchio getting everything in position at the moment, and this just doesn't seem like that much compared to the immense amount of forces that are coming down here for the best. And the best, of course, moved out before. Normally you see right at about 150 supply, give or take, that a mech player will move out, but was a little bit slower in coming, and a lot of upgrades and just a second armory on the way.
Yeah, but Nerchio forgot Zergling speed this whole time. He's just now getting it at 14 minutes, so he has slow Zerglings against mech, and that's pretty much useless against tank fire, and now what's coming out to be Blue Flame Hellions.
And the best does have a planetary fortress being established in the middle of the map, along with a 5th command center. Yeah, so he is powering ahead.
And now another starport coming out to make some more Vikings. 3 starports, actually.
Ravens.
Very well could be. Neural Parasite actually just going up from Nerchio as well. Ooh, this is a very good striking force of Roaches, though. He's going to take down that base, and we'll see how much economic damage he does with this little force.
Well, he's already done quite a bit, picking off a few workers now. He does have to justify the cost of all these Roaches, though, and looks like he'll do that by splitting his forces up, but there's already a siege tank in position, doesn't decide to pick that off, and will actually just kind of sacrifice those. How many workers did he kill? He's killed 8 so far.
So he's going to get a few more, up to 12 now. He'll probably get 13 or 14. That's actually not a bad trade for those Roaches when you realize you're a little bit behind and need to establish a few more bases. That's not really bad, especially because he needed to buy time for link speed, which he's now done, and he still only has no upgrades at all, just now getting 1 range upgrade, now getting a defense for his infestors/corruptors. So that is going to buy him a little bit more time to get his army composition 100% solid.
Well, Nerchio's running around the side with a couple groups of forces. Oh, this is a nice little catch. The Corruptor is able to pick off the scouting barracks, or at least to start doing damage to it. Looks like the best. Oh, he actually had an SCV in position and almost ended up sacrificing his unit there. Really, really cute work here by the best, though, to keep the repairing SCVs underneath to give these a little bit more durability. At the same time, Zerglings are cycling through and killing workers and this base off to the left-hand side, so a nice little move from Nerchio. Yeah,
that was really good. He actually didn't lose those. That's insane that he has those 3 low Corruptors, and he killed 4 Vikings almost for free. Very, very well done. And now, even though Nerchio's supply blocked, we'll have Broodlords start to come up as soon as those Overlords are done.
And is he going to get more workers? No, they're actually healing themselves up, and the best has had very nice control this entire game, if nothing else.
Top 1 control.
Top 1 Banshee control. That's right.
So we have a pretty even game. Obviously, the supply counts are identical right now, 183 to 183. Tech tree basically unlocked for both players. I would really like to see some Ravens sometime soon as the best gets this last base under control.
Yeah.
Because that is a lot of Corruptors and Broodlords being made. If we could see this nice little harass up there. But Nerchio's army is starting to look like a pretty good Zerg death ball at this point.
It is. He's got 6 Broodlords, 7 Corruptors, 9 Infestors. Of course, those
look at that. Hey, you see that, and that's just so scary to look at as an opponent.
Yes, it is. But those are the key 3 units, of course, that I want to keep buffering. Now he's up to 10 Corruptors. A few of those will be flipped over to Broodlords here momentarily.
And Broodlords fairly good against mech. You just have to be able to control the Viking number is what's going to be key.
Right.
How good are the fungal growths, and how well do you control your Corruptors so that they're not taken out by the Thors?
All right, well, we'll see what Nerchio can do here. He's got a lot of things up, as we mentioned, but needs to continue buffing that. Will he get the barracks this time? No, he's actually going to take a lot of fire from the siege tanks over the Zelnaga Tower. But, again, he's abusing the immobility of mech, running through with 2 little groups of Roaches and picking off more workers.
It's like, this is almost like become Nerchio's tactic, just delaying his opponent. Now he's getting some real damage. He's already killed 30 workers off, which is pretty significant. These are going to get scanned and taken out. But this is, look, he's just forcing him back into his base that he's not pushing out. And meanwhile, while this is going on, Nerchio's in a ton of damage, and Nerchio himself is moving across the map with that huge force.
There's the Corruptors. He's starting to siege up over at the Zelnaga Tower as well. Surprised he didn't turn any of those Corruptors into Broodlords, but it looks like he wants to be able to combat the massive amount of air forces that his opponent has floating around. Here we go, Nerchio. He gets a great fungal. That was a perfect fungal. It captures almost every one of the Zerglings. I'm sorry, well, every one of the Vikings. If he can reproduce that, and he can, he will pick off every one of those air units, and now there's very little to stand in the way of these Broodlords.
Yeah, he did lose a lot of Infestors, though, and he still has enough Thors that it looks like the best is going to be able to hold this force off. However, there are a ton of Zerglings being made at the same time that now Nerchio is sending into the best natural. Oh, it looks like he's actually moving it to the 3rd.
Yeah. And unfortunately, nothing here to stop this for the best at all. And he may lose that command center. It's actually just down to 70 hit points. And if that doesn't get healed up in a hurry, it's going to fall.
Yeah.
At the same time, we have this base being denied. There's this base being denied. Nerchio is all over the place.
And he's actually gotten himself ahead in supply while it's going on. Even though that fight didn't trade particularly well for him, he's making 8 more Broodlords. He's making his Corruptors. He's making his Infestors again. And he's got that Zerg Death Ball back up to 200 supply if he can get it in time.
That's right. These Broodlords all finish up right in time. That couldn't have been any better timing for Nerchio, and he will be able to start sieging up these ground forces once again.
That's quite a few Thors, though. That's going to be pretty tough for him to deal with.
That's very true, but he should be able to start pressing through in just a second. Now, if he can start to whittle away the tanks, and he has, the Broodlord should be able to start laying siege to these Thors. It'll take a while to go through them, but they will eventually kill him.
Yeah, and he's just throwing Zerglings at that wall of Thor, and the wall is being diminished, but can he do enough damage to that Thor wall before all of his Broodlords die? That's the real question, because while the best doesn't have an economy anymore, Nerchio really doesn't have a good way of defeating this army.
He doesn't. He's actually back by 60 supply in terms of... I'm sorry, he's up by 60 supply in workers, which means that he's actually down in terms of overall army.
Yeah.
So he needs to be able to stay here for a while. The best finally mining once again off of this inside base and needs to start thinking about floating something up to the top left-hand corner once again.
Yeah, he doesn't even have the minerals to make an orbital command right now, so the best is really hurting economically. However, Nerchio can't get an army assembled to disrupt this huge number of Thors, and then, of course, the Cloaked Banshees as well.
Yeah, and the Corruptors are actually being dealt with pretty quickly by these Thors. I have to say, they're all grouped up, they all fall. But now we have Speedlings coming in. Speedlings are hard countered out by Hellions, but there's only 2 there, now 3.
Did he just pull all, it looks like he pulled all of his drones off the line. Yeah, Nerchio realizes he's in a lot of trouble, and he just has to go for this and kill us off before he can give the best any more momentum.
Okay, so here we have it now. The Thor sitting at the back do have a lot of health left over. And it looks like that's enough. Actually, Nerchio's just going to LOL, and the best has defeated Nerchio and swung things back in favor of FX Open Esports.
Not the ending I thought was coming at all. I thought